a YouTube channel going by the name of Meme Ranch was able to secure a rare phone call interview with Aegon Shalakian. The call transcript itself, as well as a link to their channel, will be provided in the description down below. At a certain point within the phone call, he outright confirms his ties with Ellatra, and that his entire YouTube channel is based on the ideas and beliefs of the Ellatra cult.
Who's your production team?
They have these people that I'm not involved with that. I'm just the guy in front of the camera, not the guy behind the camera. Those questions are just out of my league, to be very candid with you.
Are you so are you kind of like independent, does Creative Society and Ellatra just like look into your coverage? What is the connection between all of that? Because I mean as far as I understand, Creative Society has a lot of videos that promote you and things like that, and then I don't really know too much about Ellatra. I just kind of got into that last night, but that's a whole rabbit hole.
Well, that's the essence is Ellatra. It is the predecessor, and that's your the beginning, literally the beginning. That I'm trying to get the biblical sense, but anyway, so you're dealing with one of the same players. And I am their registered foreign agent on Capitol Hill. You probably know that. Right. And also their registered lobbyist on Capitol Hill.
And so you wholeheartedly believe the things that you profess, that there's that in the next 5 to 7-ish years, there could be a world-breaking moment that happens for us on a scale that we aren't fully prepared for, right?
Beautifully put. Thank you.
The one thing I could find that he really wasn't lying about is he is an officially registered lobbyist through the United States Congress and Capitol Hill, but once again, through the Ellatra organization. Through Shalakian's work on Capitol Hill, he was actually able to secure a United States candidate for president to run under the influence of Ellatra, named Robbie Wells. But what is Ellatra? Ellatra was founded as a movement back in 2014 in the Ukraine by a man going by Halanya Yablachkina, which is a pseudonym for Anastasia Novaka, and a former coal miner, Ihor Danilov, who calls himself Holy Spirit. According to various religious scholars, the movement is a sect of pseudo-scientific destructionists that practices hidden psychological violence, believes in the existence of extraterrestrial aliens, worships the Russian Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, and believes in a special Slavic mission to save the world from destruction. This sect has been labeled so dangerous that the Ukraine has banned its existence, and despite their undying support of the Russian Kremlin Vladimir Putin, the Russian Office of the Prosecutor General has declared the activities of Ellatra undesirable in the country. This to me is something truly baffling. When you have two sides at current war with one another, agreeing on one thing, that the Ellatra cult is dangerous and undesirable. So much so that the Ellatra headquarters were raided as a part of a Ukrainian-led investigation into Ellatra.
Based on the collected evidence, a notice of suspicion under the following articles of Criminal Code of Ukraine is being prepared for Ellatra management and participants. Creation and management of a criminal community or criminal organization. Propaganda of a communist totalitarian regime. Justification and recognition of legitimate denial of armed aggression of the RFU. Verifications. Damn, okay. So they're man, this has the same kind of vibes as one fucking North Korean cult. Fuck, we keep seeing their posters around.
More photographic evidence from the raid points out some really weird objects and pseudo-religious paraphernalia. In an unblurred version of this photo, a Make America Great Again hat can be visibly seen on top of the piles of books that were collected during the raid. But if anyone watching this knows anything more about that painting, I would love to know about it. Included next to the painting are more things relating to Vladimir Putin. The doctrine on the floor are the volumes of the Sensei of Shambhala, which is the founding doctrine of the Ellatra cult. Ukraine authorities can also be seen making a detainment or an arrest on one of the members. But perhaps most interestingly, as also seen in the video, is this silver pyramid thing. To be honest, when I first saw the footage and these photos,
dude, that's so weird.
Like what it could be. It seems to be some kind of chamber, reflective with a chair inside, but the person sitting in it completely in darkness. Naturally, I began to dig a little more into it.
Oh,
and I know I've said
that's immediate cult red flags for me.
It's a lot, but it somehow gets weirder. This device was part of Elatra's pyramid experiment, where the apex of the pyramid is supposed to transmit your consciousness around the surrounding area through the 4 aspects or sides of the pyramid. They believe that humans can transmit their thoughts, that through our field of consciousness, we as human beings are capable of telepathy. Even more evidence can be found of this through an official video on one of the Elatra YouTube channels. They show the beginning of one of these pyramid experiments.
Good afternoon. Today is April 28th, 2018.
Dude.
And we have gathered
Oh, this is going to be a deep rabbit hole.
in the office of the Coordination Center of Elatra International Public Movement. We have gathered here today to conduct the first international pyramid experiment, the goal of which is to determine the possibility of transmitting information telepathically at a distance. The point of the experiment is as follows. We have chosen 12 symbols for the experiment, which are now in front of us. And before the experiment begins, we will choose one of the symbols randomly. The operator will look and memorize this symbol, and then at 5 p.m. GMT, which is 8 p.m. Kiev time, she will go into the pyramid and will be transmitting this symbol for half an hour.
This just feels so weird.
That being said, we have ascertained the functionality and capabilities of the pyramid apparatus. Altogether, we are fully satisfied with the course of the experiment.
I wanted to bring us back to where this whole thing started, with one Aegon Shalakian. I could have never imagined that a simple Reddit post into some altered photos and a supposed AI-generated man could lead to a Ukrainian-based, Russian-supporting, Kremlin-worshipping, natural disaster cult that believes in the power of human telepathy. I was prepared to end this video on that note alone, but it seemed like this case had one more twist left in it. That twist being an attempt being made to end Aegon Shalakian's life.
Wait, what? So he is a real person.
They're going after you because you are somebody, not because you're nobody. Get that in your minds.
Latest statement from the national security expert, Dr. Egon Shalakian. Know that he also mentioned the plans being made to eliminate him. Just before this broadcast, we received reliable information from trustworthy sources that the group assigned to assassinate him was apprehended by special services at the preparation phase, and they are now closely cooperating in the investigation and giving testimony. I even have a photo of this group's arrest. I have photos of what was found with them. Sniper pistols, other firearms, and money.
I will start out by saying I have no direct evidence to disprove what was stated on Elatra TV. However, I would like to point out that this quote-unquote assassination attempt was said to have taken place when Aegon's story began to go viral. I have done plenty of research for this film, including a supposed attempt on Aegon's life. Ukrainian, Russian, and United States jurisdictions, I was not able to find any sort of evidence to show that there were any individuals that were apprehended and charged by the respective local authorities. The only logical explanation besides that Elatra made the whole thing up is that it is an ongoing investigation somehow, even though they were caught red-handed with weapons at the scene of a crime and seemed to have confessed to what they were trying to do, supposedly. But even then, if it was still an active and ongoing investigation, any authority in any country would advise for any evidence, photos, or media not be released to the public until the investigation has been completed. Something that in this theory, Elatra has chosen not to do, which leads me to the most logical conclusion. This was all fabricated and yet another lie. In the article I was going to use to reference this attempt taken,
You shouldn't trust it if it's from Elatra. It's literally just to take him away from being the face.
on his life was quickly taken down by Medium, and the account posting it was suspended. The only remnants of evidence of this attempt occurring is what you have just saw through Elatra TV. I will not say it is not possible. However, we have to look at the track record of both Aegon Shalakian and the Alatra organization, falsified photographs, end-of-the-world prophecies, Shalakian's ban from the SEC, over violations of falsifying his own experience, his theft of scientific research, and their strange obsession with the spirit realm and telepathy, leads me to believe this attempt did not happen. I, along with the production team, wish to find evidence to the contrary to present to you further, and if there is an update, we will do so. But until then, the case of Alatra and Aegon Shalakian will be archived and stored in the halls of the Lancaster Library.
Videos. Oh, 2 videos.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it looks like
get as much information as possible to make sense of this shocking call and give officers an idea of what they might be walking into.
You just on there now?
he just pulled up. We wanted to make sure he was here before we called.
We still have to listen to, okay. Do we want to do a Alatra deep dive, or do we want to do more like true crime shit? Or do we want to watch videos, the videos I have of like YouTubers complaining about not having made enough money? Yeah, I have one that's like called The Fine Line Between Video Essay and Drama Video. The TikTok has an autism mom problem. True crime? Okay. I'm going to put it on while I go to the bathroom. This is Explore 2 weeks ago. Covering the case of Riley Carter. A news agency committed to...
Make pedophiles afraid again. I love it.
This 11-year-old girl talking about things that were done to her that shouldn't have been done.
Wife discovers predator hunter husband sick.
Developing, in certain areas. And
so one thing I want to note on is how.
Okay, maybe I won't. Yeah, good. Yes, I. I'll let him.
dig it. If like, we could tell you verbally, there'd be no need for the music, would there?
Was anyone listening to your songs and getting what you're trying to tell them from them?
Maybe not the first time round. Maybe it takes a while.
I still don't get it from what you're telling them.
Are your besties harassing you about out for New Year? Going over to something? Don't be hating on me. I've always lived in Nevada. Right, because we'll do Elatra cult on my list. I think that would be to look into and do a video on, like actually do a video. You might see some research streams. I have to keep an eye on time because the reason it's a short stream is because I'm gonna make
close sex offenders live in schools around here. Again, and make pedophiles afraid again. I love it.
Because 11-year-old girl talking about things that were done to her that shouldn't have been done. Developing, in certain areas.
So one thing I want to note on is how close sex offenders live in schools around here.
Oh, God, I'm just a rotten sack of shit. I'm so sorry.
My reason? Not. Fuck. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm making dinner for Bum. I told her, because I've had salmon sitting in the fridge to defrost for like 3 days now. And so I got
Aberdeen, Washington.
So after true crime, I gotta start looking at like salmon dishes I can make. Because I want her to, I want to make something good. She's been making a bunch of dinners since we've been on break. I've been eating like pretty much pre-prepped garbage around the holidays because we have in-laws in. And so I want to actually cook. I'm thinking bang bang chicken, bang bang salmon, but I'm open to I just have to keep in mind what I have at my.
A city councilman known for his tough on crime.
Like I even thought about doing like a salmon stir fry, but like I don't know if I have enough rice for 2 stir fries.
Crime stance and commitment to ridding the streets of dangerous criminals shocks the
probably some canned veggies I have or something
public when he's accused of committing an unthinkable and heinous crime.
Throw some potatoes in. Because like I think she's going somewhere around between like 7 and 8. I think she's so.
The following footage has never been seen before. Please note that this report is based on police records, and all persons charged with a crime are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. 39-year-old Riley Carter began his campaign for city council in early 2023, promising an aggressive approach to cleaning up the city of Aberdeen. In January of 2024, he began serving as an elected official. However, on July 30th, 2024, a jaw-dropping accusation by his stepdaughter sends police on a search to arrest him, sending shockwaves through the community.
Walk in, just so you're aware of everything we have is audio video recording. We got these fancy body cameras now.
I need to get a different mic. I think
After police locate him walking alone down a residential street, he's led in handcuffs into a small interrogation room by a detective who's determined to find out if there's any truth to the horrifying claims. Shockingly, it was his own wife, Maya, who initially confronted him about the disturbing truth his stepdaughter revealed.
I started freaking out on him, like, how could you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Kind of a thing. And he was just really calm and said, no, I didn't do this. And I hung up, and then he just took off. I guess he just left.
Did he say anything to you about it?
He just said that he didn't do it. He swears up and down he didn't do it.
Due to his status as a city councilman, the Aberdeen Police Department requested the investigation to be handled by the Grays Harbor Sheriff's Office in an effort to avoid a conflict of interest.
I think that's fair.
After reading
That's
his
probably a
Miranda
smart call.
rights, the interrogation begins, but Riley has yet to realize the source of the allegations. Riley explains he had a typical morning, but everything changed when Maya arrived home.
And then I heard the front door open and shut. And so I come out and I understand she's
Welcome to Paris. We now know the leader's current
walking out the door. And
however,
that,
as we
well,
don't
what's
know
going
the
on?
exact
When Maya left with no response, he called her cell phone for an explanation. She accused him of committing an unthinkable act and hung up the phone. However, as Maya explains, their conversation continued over Facebook Messenger. When she realized she had no tangible evidence of his crimes, she decided to take a risk.
And I bluffed and said, I have you on camera, just seeing if that would incite anything out of him, and he just stopped responding to me at that point.
As Riley explains, Maya's anger over the situation was visceral, and he was left with a chilling command.
I go down to the basement, and she told me, so I did set up a rope. I thought about it. I really did. Because I'm done, man. I'm done. I am just done. I'm maxed out. I am maxed out. Everything that we have gone through in life, everything, and now this. And it doesn't matter because being on city council, everybody knows now, that's over now. And we were right there, man. Everybody was amped up. We were going to change some things in Aberdeen, and now that's gone. It's gone. It's all gone.
June 24th, just 1 month prior, Riley posted a video to his Facebook page in an attempt to shed a light on criminal activity in his neighborhood. These videos will have an eerie relevance later when the exact allegations are revealed.
Buddy, how are you? We're out driving around, got the babies to sleep. It's just one of those days, I guess. Anyways, I thought it'd be a good idea, maybe take you guys along with me, and we'll go drive around downtown, and we'll just go look at things, and maybe I can talk about things, you know, that I'd like to see different, or things to be improved on, or whatever it may be. But just gonna keep it fun, keep it relaxed, and be myself. All right, here we go. So one thing I want to note on is how close sex offenders live to schools around here, how close they are to bus stops, how easy it is for them to just have instant access to anyone or anybody's kids here, you know, in each of these neighborhoods. Sorry, I had to hit my brakes there because looked like a tweaker came shooting out of the alley and almost got in front of my car.
Oh, those damn tweakers, man.
You know, that really needs to be addressed, okay? All right, so I know one place a lot of people want to see is the camp underneath the bridge. I will state, however, I have my baby girls with me, so I'm not going to take them down there just because.
Oh, of course not.
People know who I am around here, and the last thing I would want is a rock to fly through my window and hit one of my daughters, because the way this state works, I could see me going to prison because somebody hit my daughter with a rock and then beat that person to death. I mean, that's just, come on. You want to do that for your own kids?
Despite his apparent determination to do whatever it takes to protect his children, as it turns out, Riley's shocking secret was revealed by his own 11-year-old stepdaughter, whose name has been redacted from the interview to protect her identity.
So,
okay.
Statements weren't made to initially. She told her counselor today that they were talking about something different and broke down crying and said she didn't want to talk about it.
In a recorded interview with his stepdaughter's therapist, she explains what happened earlier this morning. when it quickly became clear that something was horribly wrong.
So we had an appointment at 2 o'clock, and she'd been displaying some behaviors and had reported 2 weeks prior that was mean to her. So we were going to talk more about it today. She said she didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to say it out loud.
In an effort to help the child, she suggested writing it down. However, the disturbing words she wrote on the page left the counselor in shock.
When she wrote that down, like, can you tell me about what her emotions look like and how she was acting?
So before she wrote it down, when she said she didn't want to say it out loud, she started just staring down at the ground. She was like stone cold. You could tell she was checking out, and she was kind of fidgeting her hands. And I've been her therapist for probably a little bit over 2 years, and she's never acted like that.
So that was out of the norm?
That is completely out of the norm. Her facial expression looked as if she was scared, like fear. And then she wrote it down, and then she kind of had this look of, oh no, or I'm in trouble, or something.
The haunting words written by the child will later be revealed. For now, in an attempt to understand her claims, investigators begin to dig into their familial relationship.
So can you talk about what your relationship
Here you go, try to get my...
and how long you've been in her life? And
It's not the target.
She was 4. I think she's a great kid. She's, I don't know how to explain it. Always just outgoing, but kind of keeps to herself.
Come in. This is Papa Bear. Situation is clear. No baddies around here. Over.
And so
Yeah.
Was that a hard role to step into with her being that young, or?
Yes and no. I always kept in the back of my head that there's going to be a time when she gets to know her real dad. And so that's a line that needs to be respected. Mm-hmm. And that's not me to try to take that place. Just stay available, you know. That's about the best I could do.
Okay. How close would you guys be as far as being her? You guys?
I always thought we were like close, not like super close, just like I'd say she felt comfortable to always like throw fits in front of me. Ask for like things for birthday or Christmas, or complain, or tell me about her favorite color. Or
I don't know if those are comfortability things.
What kind of activities would you guys do together?
Oh, I would say much aside from watching TV. Yeah, that's about it. In the living room, yeah.
Okay. And then, do you guys have 2 other kids between you?
Yes, we have 2, and then our son that passed away.
Okay.
So we have she's 5, and then she's 2.
Okay. And do you feel like you have a similar relationship with all 3 kids, or do you feel like you're closer with your 2 biological kids?
It's a different kind of relationship, I'd say, with my stepkids.
Riley's videos reveal a pattern in which he often describes a willingness to do anything to protect his children from local crime. However, the harrowing words of his stepdaughter may suggest that the dangers were much closer to home than anyone realized.
Oh, God, I'm such
a lot of projection.
The 2 daughters.
Excellent, 47.
We
have now tracked down the syndicate leader's location.
You never know love until you have a kid. You know what? That's the one thing that keeps you going. You never know pain until you hold your own dead kid. That really messes you up, too.
Yet it was the bone-chilling note written by the 11-year-old girl that truly left her therapist in shock and her mother, Maya, enraged.
So she wrote it down, and what she wrote was, "He touches me and makes me uncomfortable."
In April 2024, just 4 months prior to his arrest, Riley began a crowdfunding campaign to launch a non-profit aimed at catching online predators and deterring them from engaging in harmful acts against children.
Hey, what up, everybody? A little bit of story time. So I live in an incredibly liberal state, Washington, yeah. And every time I wear this hat out in public, people always give me those looks of, ooh, it's a MAGA hat. Ooh, it's too bad. He hates everyone. But then they read it,
And usually they have a pretty good laugh, you know, in support of it. Then again, you still do get those people that are offended by it, but, you know, imagine that in a blue state. Ha! You know, they have rights too. No, they don't. The victim does, but